Hello and welcome to the Tualatin How Urban Renewal Works information session. The intent of this information session is to provide viewers with a greater understanding of urban renewal in both how urban renewal areas generate their funding and the capabilities of using this funding to complete city projects. This presentation will cover four major topics. First, we will address the question, what is urban renewal at a basic level? Second, we will cover why cities form urban renewal areas. Third, we will detail relevant prior planning Tualatin has completed and the current stage of the potential urban renewal area in the planning process. Finally, we will close with the schedule regarding the review of the potential new urban renewal area and upcoming important events. The amount of content this video will cover unfortunately does not allow for a discussion of the potential projects for this urban renewal area. Potential projects to be undertaken in the urban renewal area are covered in a different information sheet on this webpage. At its core, urban renewal is simply an additional funding source that can be utilized by cities and counties. Urban renewal is unique as the financial impact of this funding source is not on property tax payers, but rather property taxing districts. Similar to other city planning efforts, urban renewal plans contain potential improvements to the urban renewal area. However, urban renewal plans are unique to other forms of city planning because they not only provide a plan with projects, but ensure a funding source for those projects, a mechanism detailed later in this video named tax increment financing. Conceptually, the formation of an urban renewal area creates a financial entity capable of completing projects. As such, urban renewal areas have an income source, expenses, and a spending limit. The income source is the yearly property tax collections from the incremental increases in assessed value. This concept will be explained further later in the presentation. The expenses are either the projects and programs pursued or administration. The spending limit is termed an urban renewal area's maximum indebtedness. Maximum indebtedness is the total amount of money that can be spent over the life of an urban renewal area on projects, programs, or administration. Cities considering the creation of an urban renewal area are typically facing the same problem. The city has an adopted city plan, such as the Tonkin Employment Area Plan, but either has no funding or insufficient funding to complete said projects. The projects in need of funding usually are identified to correct infrastructure or transportation obstacles to enable new development. Urban renewal is a financing tool that allows for the completion of the under or unfunded projects that would not be completed otherwise. Currently, the City of Tualatin is in the public review process of the draft urban renewal plan for the Basalt Creek and Southwest Corridor areas of Tualatin. Previously, the city completed planning in the area that includes the Basalt Creek Concept Plan, the Southwest Tualatin Concept Plan, the Tualatin Transportation Systems Plan, Tualatin Capital Improvement Plan, the Tualatin Economic Opportunities Analysis, the City of Tualatin Housing Needs and Analysis, and the Tualatin Sewer Master Plan. To evaluate the potential use of urban renewal to fund projects from this planning effort, the Tualatin City Council authorized an urban renewal feasibility study. An urban renewal feasibility study provides the financial projections for a potential urban renewal area boundary. This allows for a much clearer picture of what projects can actually be funded in the particular boundary. The urban renewal plan was drafted following input provided by the task force on major points of the feasibility study, including the boundary of the proposed area, a list of potential projects inside that boundary, and the impact of the financial projections for the chosen study boundary in reference to project prioritization, time frame for urban renewal, and impacts on taxing districts. The proposed urban renewal area is shown in this boundary. It encompasses the Basalt Creek area and the area studied in the Southwest Concept Plan. Citizens are generally interested in the urban renewal boundary chosen and what projects will be completed, but for most citizens, of the utmost concern is how this urban renewal plan will impact them financially. Most citizens want to know if creating an urban renewal area will increase their taxes. The answer is no. The creation of an urban renewal area will not create an additional tax. The key difference between urban renewal funding and other sources of funding available is urban renewal impacts property taxing districts, not property tax payers. The following animation covers the basic concepts behind this mechanism of funding. Local taxing districts, such as the city or county, receive a majority of their funding from local property tax revenues. Property tax revenues are not constant for any taxing district. Revenues for taxing districts can increase in two ways. First, the assessor can increase the assessed value of any property by up to 3% each year. This up to 3% appreciation is independent of the urban renewal area and will occur regardless of whether a city or county has an urban renewal area. This means each taxing district can experience up to 3% growth in revenues without taking into account any substantial improvements or new development. This leads to the second way property tax revenues can increase, which is the fact that if a property undergoes substantial improvement or rehabilitation, an assessor is allowed to do a reassessment of the assessed value of the property. The subsequent increase in taxable assessed value provides increased revenues. When a city identifies a particular location as an urban renewal area, the property tax revenue stream is altered to include revenue for the urban renewal agency. The property tax revenue stream is altered such that the amount of increased property tax revenue generated by the urban renewal area is redistributed to the urban renewal agency. Whatever amount of property tax revenue was generated by the properties inside the urban renewal area prior to the adoption of the urban renewal plan will continue to flow to the regular taxing districts. It is only the increases in revenue after the formation of the urban renewal area that will be redistributed to the urban renewal agency. This redistribution is referred to as the division of taxes. The division of taxes introduces two new terms to explain the redistribution process. The first is the frozen base, and the second is increment. The frozen base represents the amount of taxable assessed value the year before the urban renewal area was formed. For the duration of the urban renewal area, the overlapping taxing districts will still receive the property tax revenue from the frozen base assessed value. The term increment refers to increases in assessed value and therefore property tax revenue over the frozen base. This graph illustrates a few key concepts. First, urban renewal funding starts at a trickle. Often in an area, projects are not able to be funded until 5 or 10 years into the area's lifespan. However, once yearly property tax revenues reach an appropriate amount, the urban renewal area can use its income to incur debt. Because urban renewal areas can incur debt, often the urban renewal area will have completed all of its identified projects, but will still be collecting property tax revenues to pay off its remaining debt. Finally, this graph also illustrates one of the essential goals of urban renewal: to increase the property tax revenue base for all taxing districts. Once the urban renewal area sunsets, all of the assessed value that was a part of the increment now becomes taxable assessed value for the overlapping taxing districts. Key to being able to fund urban renewal projects is the fact that urban renewal areas leverage the city tax rate. Instead of just gaining the city tax rate as property tax revenues increase for an urban renewal area, the urban renewal agency instead receives the increased property tax revenue based on the aggregated property tax rate of all property taxing districts. This is generally around a threefold increase. To summarize, urban renewal division of taxes does not increase a citizen's property tax bill. It uses the increase in taxes from the time the urban renewal area is established to fund projects in an urban renewal area. While urban renewal areas do impact the taxing districts, no bonds or local option levies will be impacted by the proposed urban renewal plan. If the city of Sherwood adopts the proposed urban renewal plan, urban renewal will be a line item on the property tax bill for all properties in the city of Sherwood, regardless of whether they are in the urban renewal area. However, the urban renewal line item does not represent a new tax. To reiterate, taxing districts will continue receiving taxes on the frozen base assessed value of properties within the urban renewal area. Increases over the frozen base, or the increment, will be allocated to the urban renewal agency. In many urban renewal areas, the growth in assessed values would not have occurred without the urban renewal projects to stimulate development. To reiterate, taxing districts will continue receiving taxes on the frozen base assessed value of properties within the urban renewal area. Increases over the frozen base, or the increment, will be allocated to the urban renewal agency. In many urban renewal areas, the growth in assessed values would not have occurred without the urban renewal projects to stimulate development. Urban renewal does not directly impact local school districts, as schools are funded on a per pupil basis by the state school fund and not by their own local property tax revenues. Local property tax revenues for all schools in the state of Oregon are combined with allocations from the general fund, lottery funds, and other local sources. The formation of an urban renewal area within a city does not cause a direct change in the per pupil amount for that city's school district from the state school fund. The next steps in the potential adoption process for the potential Tualatin urban renewal area include an open house to be held in July. As a specific date and time become available, that information will be posted on the Tualatin website. The potential urban renewal plan must also proceed through the official public review process required by ORS 457. This includes a meeting with the Tualatin Development Commission on June 21st, 2021, a meeting with the Tualatin Planning Commission on July 15th, 2021, and 2 meetings with the Tualatin City Council. The purpose of the first meeting with City Council is to present the potential urban renewal plan to Council and the public in a mandatory public hearing. The purpose of the second meeting with the Tualatin City Council is to vote on the ordinance to adopt the urban renewal plan. These meetings will occur on August 9th, 2021 and August 23rd, 2021. If you would like more information on this potential urban renewal area, please contact the City of Tualatin to request further information using the provided contact information on this slide.